Okay. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. Hope everybody's feeling good this morning. My name is Haziq Ali. I'm a revenue acceleration coach, somebody who's dedicated to helping you go further, faster, with less effort. Every morning, we try and give you good game as a business owner, something to help you go harder without working harder. Hard work is important. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but it is not what you should be focused on. What you should be focused on is building a better mousetrap. What you should be focusing on is a different way to show your consistency above the competition. And even with the word competition, I got to use air quotes because even that is a misnomer. It belies a philosophy that may be crippling you as opposed to helping you helping you to create. A lot of us don't realize it, man, but the whole purpose of you being out here is to create. It's creativity that's next to godliness. Comparison is the thief of joy. What you're looking to do is put yourself in a place where you can create, where you feel like what you're adding on to the game is bringing something that allows people to see you clearly. You're looking for distinctive. You're looking for outstanding. You're looking for things that make them say, wow. I'm going to put it in the comments. It's so important, y'all. But anything wow always brings loyalty. Anything wow always breeds loyalty. If you can just think about that as you approach your business, I guarantee you increase. I guarantee you increase. Hey, young Coco in the house. Morning, Queen. Make sure you text message the crew. Let them know we're here. They still got us in Facebook jail, man. It is what it is. Time for me to call in on the live line. Let's get this party going. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. Get this party started. Let them know where you're at.
Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place.
It's check-in time.
Because we're going to bring the millionaire out of you. Just hold on.
Please enter your input is invalid. You entered 6923. Please enter your PIN followed by the
Just now got back from chilling out with my son and my nephew and my brother. We did like a man trip. We went all up and down the East Coast. It was like, hey, lunch in Times Square. Then we had dinner in Maine, right? Like Maine lobster and all the swordfish and all of that. Then we took it to I think from there we went to Boston, we went through Boston, Massachusetts, checked out the first Celtics game when they got back to town. That was hella fun. Everybody checking in. Checked out the first Boston game back in the Garden. It was a really interesting experience checking out a game where it's COVID time, so that was really, really can everybody see me? If you can see me, then let me know. You know what I mean? If you can see me, then let me know. Let me know. Can y'all see me? Let me know if we are in the building, y'all. My homie just said that maybe the screen blacked out. But can everybody see me? We on point? All right, so we're gonna get this party started, y'all, because yeah, we're back on Clubhouse. It was fun, but now it's time to get back to it. And I wanted to talk this morning because I had a conversation with a mentee actually on my road trip that kind of blew my mind. I want you to write this in your notes. Trees that are slow to grow often bear the best fruit. Trees that are slow to grow often bear the best fruit. Can you put that in the comments, please? I just now found out that YouTube, Facebook, none of them really show you love unless you are liking it and commenting and sharing. Otherwise, they think that you're forcing people to be here and what you're talking about sucks. So please play along by commenting and engaging with everything, because that helps us get this thing feeling lit. But I want to ask you this morning. How often has this happened to you, right? How often have you been in a situation, maybe it's New Year's, maybe it's the beginning of spring, okay? And you're in this zone where you want to do more with your life. You want to get into shape, right? Or you want to take on this brand new hobby you thought of, right? Share this with somebody if you know that sometimes we grab something we're passionate about, right? We might start a new business. We might be working towards a new career, right? We start building a positive habit. And then before you know it, we're moving in that direction. We start exercising, or we start waking up early, or we start our writing routine, or we start meditating. You begin with so much determination. You come out the blocks like a bolt of lightning, right? But then something makes you skip for a couple of days. Maybe something happened at work. Maybe you had to visit with family. Like I just now was telling you this saga, how we went all over it, right? A lot of my normal habits I wasn't able to employ, right? These things happen. But what happens when these busy days keep on popping up? So you end up skipping more and more often, and before long, you abandon that new habit altogether. What are we supposed to do in these situations? Ain't that frustrating, y'all? Can I get a witness, right? If you keep on trying over and over and over again to build these positive habits into your life, but you ain't able to, if sometimes you're the one that feels like you just ain't got it in you no more to do anything else, you're just too busy, or you're too old, or you're just too tired, then this is for you. Because what I want to say to you this morning is, what if that's not true, right? What if the only things that are holding you back are these limiting beliefs that you've allowed yourself to employ? And listen, I'm not saying negative beliefs. I said limiting beliefs. We hold a lot of beliefs, y'all, about what works. This is what we always talk about as philosophy. It's our belief system, right? It's our belief about the way things work, or the correct way to do things, or how we fit into this environment that we're in. And on the surface, a lot of these beliefs sound like they're motivational. They sound like they're going to help you out, like it's positive, like it's the kind of stuff that's going to keep you going when you feel down. But in a lot of situations, y'all, these myths turn into absolute crap that cripples us and prevents us from our potential. So I'm going to give you 5 of them this morning, if y'all are ready. Give me a number 1 and a share. Pastor Dandridge in the house. Right on. That's right. Yeah. Let's spread the word. Let's get it on. Appreciate that, Taisha. Appreciate that, Queen. Number one, y'all. Make sure you share it on Facebook and all of that. We in Facebook jail, so we can't share it on Facebook, but you can. You know what I'm saying? Good morning. Good morning, millionaires. Okay, here's the first one I got for you. Y'all. The first one I got for you is that all you need to do is work real hard and you're going to be successful. All you need to do is work really hard. Man, if you're not successful, it's because you're not working hard enough. I'm going to tell y'all something. This belief right here is single-handedly responsible for at least half of all of the quote unquote failures that anybody's ever talked to me about over the past 10 years. And I know that probably sounds ridiculous because that sounds like it's something positive. But I'm going to tell you something. This messes people up because everybody agrees that success requires hard work. Regardless of whether you want to run a marathon millionaire or you want to run $1 million business, there's this book called Outliers from a guy named Malcolm Gladwell. Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And what Malcolm Gladwell posited into the national consciousness is this theory that 10,000 hours of diligent practice is what it takes to master a domain. So cool, we get it. Hard work is something you just can't avoid, even if you're working smart, right? But here's the thing about real life. Once these motivational stuff starts to melt away and you get into real life, what happens is you probably got job responsibilities. You probably got household chores. You probably got family responsibilities. Where are you supposed to find the time and the energy to work hard on new positive habits every day? Like, for instance, maybe you're trying to build 30 minutes of exercise into your schedule, which I highly suggest. I know my man E1 feel the same way, right? But what about those days when you ain't got 30 minutes, right? You skip and then you keep on skipping, right? Well, I got good news for you this morning because hard work is not the most important element in success, at least not initially. And if you understand the laws of nature, you know initially is a lot of times 75% of it. Now, I ain't saying it's the whole thing. Nobody wants to swim 75% across the lake. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that millionaires, when you want to get your life changed, and you think that it's hard work that's going to do it, you're crippling yourself from the beginning. Because when you are first starting this thing, the most important element is not the hard work. The only thing that matters is the consistency. It doesn't matter the length of time. It doesn't matter that you go in there and sweat and damn near pull a muscle, right? If we're going with the exercise metaphor, the only thing that really matters, y'all, is to try to exercise or do the 2-minute version of this big accomplishment. So if you want to exercise for 30 minutes, you don't have to start off exercising for 30 minutes. You can start with 2 minutes. This sounds crazy, but when you start with 2 minutes, when you just start with, and when we're talking about habits, we always say the 2-minute version of any habit. But I want you to think about it like this, right? At the end of the day, if it's something like going to the gym, the 2-minute version is so ridiculous sometimes that you don't even have to go all the way to the gym. The 2-minute version of exercising might be just putting on your exercise clothes and then taking them back off. You don't understand the way your mind works, and so this sounds stupid to you. But what I'm trying to explain to you this morning is that 2 minutes a day will clearly and with intensity and with intention begin to establish a new self-image in your philosophy. Don't let this go over your head. Your self-image is what drives your attitude. It's your philosophy. Millionaires, the strongest need in human nature is the need for you to act in accordance with your self-image. So the person that doesn't work out got to get impeached. And the good news is you don't need a unanimous vote. You just need a majority. So every day I wake up and I put on my workout clothes, even if this is a simple activity. What happens, y'all, is I've now casted a new vote for a different self-image. I've now casted a vote for the version of myself that I want to see manifest. That's one more vote for I'm the kind of person who comes home from work and puts on his workout clothes. Somebody say 2-minute version in the comments. 2-minute version. If this is resonating with you, give me 2-minute version. If you're rocking with us on Clubhouse, or if you're rocking with us on the Millionaire Mind Line, write that in your notes, underline it, and circle it. 2-minute version of the habit. 2-minute version of the habit. Millionaires, the point is to simply become accustomed to an everyday routine, because you only do it when you feel like doing it. And the power of habit is that it begins to attach your feelings to the activity. Now you don't feel right when you don't do the thing. It's a whole other way. Doing it every day trains this part of your brain, the cingulate gyrus, if you care. You probably don't, but around here, we're entrepreneurologists. That means we're studying the mindset, but we're also studying how the brain works. And when you do it every day, this cingulate gyrus ingrains this activity. It makes it as natural as brushing your teeth every morning, which, by the way, you started the same exact way. Within a couple weeks, your brain's going to get used to this process of doing this activity every day at this specific time. And that's when you can start to increase the time. Now you go from 2 minutes to 5 minutes, right? Or you go from 2 minutes to 10. Now you actually go into the gym, right? Instead of judging yourself, you're loving on yourself and the fact that you are now the kind of person who comes home and blank. You're the kind of person who wakes up and blank. You're the kind of person who, in the middle of the day at lunchtime, you blank. If you run a business where you need to be making phone calls, you don't have to start off trying to call 100 people in one day like your heroes that do 100,000 a month, right? No, what you can start off with is just coming home, making one phone call, hanging up the phone. But every day at the same time. Somebody say 2-minute version. Every day at the same time. You call somebody, you just check in. I had my man Dennis doing that. He's supposed to spend a whole month doing nothing but just checking in with people, hanging up the phone, just building yourself, casting that vote for the kind of person who comes home and gets busy. Does that make sense to somebody out there? All I'm saying about this first myth, y'all, is that, yeah, hard work is important, but that's the second step. Can you imagine just not even understanding you're skipping a step? Can you imagine knowing only 16 of the alphabet and trying to read a book? Listen to me. The first step is consistency. Once you become consistent with this small version, this 2-minute version of the habit, then you'll begin to work harder at it and it won't even hurt you. If you're ready for number 2, give me a number 2 and a share. If you're ready for number 2, give me a number 2 and a share. Give me a number 2 and a share if you're ready for the second one. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. Yeah. Myth number 2, y'all. Myth number 2 I got for you. You got to have a hard deadline. And if you don't hit it, you're a loser. If you miss your deadline, you got to have this hard deadline. If you miss the deadline, you're a loser. Listen to me. Are you trying to build new habits, right? But you attach this, it's so cool to say, goals are just dreams with a deadline, right? So you're like, I got to lose 10 pounds in a month, or I got to become, a published author in the next week, in the next year, in the next month. You might believe you can't get anything done unless you set a deadline, right? We hear about SMART goals, right? We talk about making them, specific and measurable. I get it. But here's some things that maybe you've never considered about this deadline philosophy. First, a deadline is kind of like a tricky, because what it does is it draws your attention towards the result that you're looking for. And what you're going to do then is constantly evaluate your current level with the result that you want. But what happens is you begin to criticize yourself. This thing can be tricky. Because what you haven't taken into account, let's go back to working out, right? Sometimes you're looking for the goal to happen in a certain amount of time, and you don't see the visible results in the first few moments of the experience. You hear me? You might struggle in the beginning. And then what happens is, instead of you recognizing that's a natural part of your skill development, you start to beat yourself up. This lack of visible progress. Notice I use the word visible. This lack of visible progress, do you hear me? Starts to discourage you. You might start feeling like you ain't got what it takes. And then what happens is other people seem to be having such excellent results so fast, you start feeling like, right? Your self-image starts to congeal in this place where like, man, this ain't for me. Second problem is that deadlines cause people to underestimate the amount of time that it might take to get the job done. If you look around you, you'll see this happening everywhere. People miss deadlines at work, right? Or they end up putting in all these extra hours at the last minute. If you set deadlines that ain't practical, then it ends up handicapping you. You're building up unrealistic expectations that before you know it, start to draw out your motivation. Now you're demoralized again. So all I'm saying is this, y'all. With myth number 2, it's just really important to understand that deadlines have a time and place, but they aren't universally beneficial. For instance, do hard deadlines truly matter for building long-term, life-changing habits? No, they don't, y'all. I don't care if it takes you 10 years to become an author the first time. If now you got that habit of writing every morning, my friend, you're a success. What's the big hurry? Take it slow and steady, because a lot of times that wins the race. Around here, we're about going further, faster with less effort. But do you realize a lot of times the shortcut is the straight path? People spend so much time trying to avoid work that they end up working harder than they would have worked if they'd have just worked. And all I'm saying to you is that, especially during those first couple weeks, y'all, forget about the deadline part of it and just focus on what's important. Start focusing on building that foundation that you're going to need for this new routine. And if you need a better approach to staying motivated, reach out to us for this Kaizen Academy course that we have on habits. Or if you're on the pro level of the Kaizen Academy, I highly suggest you check out that course on habits. But for those of you who have not looked into the Academy, I just want you to think about your big why. And if you need a bigger why, ask yourself why, the why. And you know what they teach you is you should do that 7 times. Why is this goal important? Oh, because I want to make this money. Why do I want the money? Oh, because I want to, take my kids on a trip. Why do you want to take your kids on a trip? Because that'll make me feel like, the coolest father in the world. Why do you want to feel like the coolest father in the world? Oh, because when I was... See, now we get into it. Because I was young, my father, blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? So if you want a little bit more power, I would suggest, if somebody caught that, let me see 7 whys in the comments. 7 whys. You got to ask yourself that why question 7 times. It'll blow your mind what you end up coming up with. That's if you need a little bit more power, because a deadline ain't always going to give you power. But that why power will beat willpower every single time. Why do you want to build this habit? Why do you want this project to get cracking? What rewards will you gain? How will it make you happier? How will it have you more fulfilled? Write it down, remember it, and it's going to be your inspiration. If you're ready for number 3, give me a number 3. I'm going to try to hurry up and get through these, y'all. Give me a number 3 in a share. Give me a number 3 in a share if this is feeling good to you. That's right. 7 whys, y'all. 7 whys. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. 7 whys, 7 whys, 7 whys, 7 whys. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Here we go. Here's number 3. You have to be bigger and better than you are right now. You have to be bigger and better than you are right now. Listen to me. You are enough. I don't hear enough people say that's their favorite affirmation every morning when we're doing our affirmations. But listen to me, baby. You are enough. You got everything you need to have everything you want. Listen to me. You are enough. Goals are important. You'll never listen. I love goals, right? All journeys of change got to start with you deciding you want to change. It starts with a goal, right? You got to have determination to make these goals happen. However, millionaires, what do you think happens when you're too determined? Let me tell you what happens, y'all. You start to get into this weird place where you nurture this belief that who you are right now ain't good enough. Millionaires, I could tell you so many stories about this, but the bottom line is this. You got to accept yourself as you are. You have to realize that your peak, that your potential is not a peak. It's a trajectory. It's a direction. Your potential is a direction. Can somebody give me that in the comments? Your potential is not a peak. Your potential is a direction. Millionaires, all you're doing is committing to Kaizen. You're committing to constant and never-ending improvement. And if you think you're perfect already, you're not going to make no effort to grow. But constantly criticizing yourself is just as counterproductive as doing nothing, because you're never going to be able to build new positive habits when you're obsessively focused on your flaws. So what's the key here, y'all? The key, as usual, is we got to dance in the middle. Instead of your mantra being, I have to be better, right? What if it's, I'm going to do my best today? You hear me? Because that's going to be a lot more effective, because now it's prompting you to do something today. You hear me? I am enough. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for just the ability to take a little positive action every day that keeps on pushing you forward. You are enough. I am enough. We are all we got, but we are all we need, right? We just probably need more practice. All right, if you're ready for number 4, give me a number 4 in the share. I got 2 more for you, and then we're going to get to our affirmations and we out of here. Normally, we'd be done already, but I just want to get you these. This is important, and every day what we're looking to do is bulletproof our philosophy. We're looking to change around the way that we're looking at the world, because we understand that's what's going to give us our attitude, which is going to give us our activity, which is going to give us our results, which is going to give us our lifestyle. Here's number 4, y'all. You got to be willing to sacrifice everything if you want success. Millionaires, that ain't success. That ain't success. Check it out, y'all. You've heard this a million times. Successful people work for hours. They don't take breaks. They don't eat, right? They don't sleep. Millionaires, that ain't success. I'm not trying to be the richest man in the graveyard. You get what I'm saying to you? I'm not trying to be the richest man who, like, don't get me wrong, man. It takes a lot of money to get really, really big. So I get that this guy had to be just filthy rich. I could tell by the way his wrist shrunk his Rolex. His wrist made his Rolex look like a little M&M. He basically had to buy 2 seats. Now, I get he's rich, right? You walking past him in first class, he's rich, right? Rest of his family had to sit on this side, okay? But what I'm saying is, to say that I have to sacrifice everything to be successful, I have to sacrifice my health, I have to sacrifice my friendships, I have to sacrifice my fulfillment level just for, that's the opposite of success. We always hear about Eric Clapton practicing guitar for 18 hours a day, or Bill Gates sleeping on the floor at Microsoft, so that way he wouldn't have to waste time driving back and forth to work, or you know, inventors working for. Listen to me, I get it. But that underlying message that they're trying to feed us that ain't always helpful is that you got to sacrifice even your basic physiological needs if you want to have success. And what this does is it conjures our imagination and our admiration, because we love feeling like these people are just superhuman. But when you look at the leaders in real life, when you actually observe them, I mean, did these people work at these superhuman levels Of course not. We were just talking on a training maybe last week about how with accelerated learning, you have to work in breaks so your brain ain't even performing the way it's supposed to. That's why when you're in the hospital and that thing goes boop, 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 right? It's going up, down, up, down, up, down. What I'm telling you is that sacrificing everything to be successful actually reduces your effectiveness. It diminishes your energy. It takes your IQ and your decision-making ability down. It saps your willpower. If you keep on sacrificing adequate food, or if you keep on sacrificing adequate sleep, or if you keep on sacrificing adequate interaction with your fellow man, right? If you're just sitting behind a screen and losing your socialization skills, all we're saying is, what if you spent less time on the stuff that matters less? You're never going to remember that TV show in a month. Maybe that's the time you invest in some of this other stuff. Maybe you stop scrolling. You won't even remember that tomorrow, right? You're getting these instant shots of dopamine that do nothing for you in the big scope of things. What if you spent less time on crap like that? What if you stopped living passive and started digging into your life? This is the last one I got for you today, y'all. And then we out of here. Millionaires. Myth number 5 is that you should transform yourself all at once. That's a myth, but you hear it all the time, like rags to riches, right? But that's why you hear so many times, rags to riches, back to rags. Millionaires, if you have a future image of yourself as a transformed person, somebody who's healthier, somebody who's wealthier, right? You millionaire minded, you happy, you incredibly productive, you're confident, you're able to balance work and life and all of this. We all have that vision. But what I'm trying to say to you is that you want to watch what you're doing. Millionaires, check it out. Nothing that happens too fast is good. Nothing that happens too fast even helps you to. This is why you always kick off with this tremendous motivation. Yes, this time it's going to be different, right? But you know how it goes, right? The resolutions just remain resolutions and wishes. Let me tell you what the cause of your failure is. It's your overenthusiasm. When you're trying to build 6 new habits at one time, all you end up doing is become overwhelmed. All you end up doing is losing your ground on all of them. Why? Because making changes does require willpower. Now, we're going to strengthen it with our why power, but you got to understand we only have a limited quantity of willpower in a day. Same way we have the limited amount of physical energy in a day. And if you're trying to build 2 new habits at the same time, you're dividing your available willpower instead of concentrating it. Now it's more difficult for you to focus on either one. You can't chase 2 rabbits. So millionaires, in closing, successful transformation begins with your philosophy. Don't make the fatal mistake of starting in the middle with your activity, because it's a losing proposition every time. If you don't like your lifestyle, look back at your results. If you don't like your results, look back at your activity. If you don't like your activity, look back at your attitude. And if you don't like your attitude, millionaires, you got to look back at your philosophy. Repeat after me. I am